we're here with artist and writer Tanya Joyce, and she's
Hello.
going to tell us, oh, yay, good to see you, Tanya. You're going to tell us some more about the approach to Artist Embassy through the arts and the Dancing Poetry Festival, about your book, maybe, and some of the drawings that help tell us all about these things. Give us a hand. Go ahead and start.
Okay. Well, I'll try to follow what you just said about Artist Embassy. I had the privilege of proofreading the draft of Althea Youngman, the founder, of her memoir, and
Okay.
I found it tremendously interesting because of the different things she went through and the fact that she actually talked with Mahatma Gandhi and he encouraged her in the endeavor to start Artist Embassy. I was especially aware of that the other night when I was watching a rerun of Antiques Roadshow, and there was
Mhm.
a photograph that Margaret Bourke-White took of Gandhi sitting in meditation with his spinning wheel. And it was supposed to be the first time a woman had been able to talk with him like that. However, it was 2 or 3 years after Althea had talked with him. So that is just an example of there's always something to be discovered newly in life.
Oh, that's
And
great.
then I can't remember the second part of what you said. Something about Artist Embassy, and then
How you, especially your work, relates to furthering understanding and goodwill
okay,
through the imagery, the poetry, your book writing. You have such a vast amount of material, but I was hoping that you could pinpoint some of it, especially the drawings that you might share with us.
yeah, yeah. So just as a overall thing, I'm a painter, do drawing as well as painting, and I write
And a highly
poetry.
awarded poet and artist.
Yes, yes, and I write pro poetry and nonfiction prose. And I like mixing the arts together, so dance has come to be part of that. The new venture I have with Artist Embassy is a book called um, Meeting the Muses. And I'm very eager to show in that muses are everywhere and all time. They don't always have a 5th century BC flowing Greek robe. One of
Thank you,
my
thank you, thank you. Carry on.
one of my favorite images of that, I first came to San Francisco in 1959, and through friends I got to know poet Philip Whalen, and he had a wonderful poem. He wrote 2 poems I know of about muses, and one of them, he is at a cocktail party, and across a crowded room he sees his muse. So by the time he makes his way through the crowd over there, she's gone. So he sees her in another part of the room, tries this again, and the muse always escapes him. So clearly, when he wrote the poem, he found the muse again, but it describes a situation totally in modern dress, where inspiration, which is what the muses are all about, is eluding him. And he thinks as he's making his way across the room and he's helping himself to a few snacks, he thinks to himself, maybe if I wasn't blowing peanut breath in your face, you'd be nice to me. For the purposes of the poem, it doesn't work, but the poem itself stuck in my mind for a very long time. And I like that idea. The muses are always present to us. Alameda's first poet laureate, Mary Rudge, started a program for modern muses where she crowned 15 muses of modern topics such as translation and so forth and so on, different languages. as her view toward what we can do to bring that image of muses into our current time. And the statewide California poetry group has taken that story. That somebody sent out an email and asked for stories about Mary, so I sent that, and he said that was going to be published as part of their comments on the different chapters of poetry groups in the state. And of course, that's just a tiny bit. My current project that works together with the book on muses is called A Museum is a House of the Muses.
Wow.
Because museum in the 18th century, people were gaga about classical Greece. It was just being rediscovered. The word museum came up as putting together a couple of Greek words to make that. So I started really thinking about that and realizing I grew up with a museum 2 blocks from my house. We did work at the Alameda Museum for 6 years. Every January was devoted to Artist Embassy, art, dance, music, so forth. And I taught for a while when the DeYoung Museum in San Francisco had an art school. I taught there. So part of what I did was, this is my first picture. This is my House of the Muses.
Oh, how
My
great.
first one, combination of Chinese inspiration, and then the two botanical things on the side are pomegranates from European watermarks in paper. So to include the whole world. One of the first things I did in this regard is a series of collages that were about ancient dance. And this is one of them. This is
Oh,
from the Harappa culture in the Indus Valley, approximately 4,000 years ago. And there's all kinds of pictures of dancers with joined hands in the, line dancing of some kind. And I love this one because of the hair. And I took images from those ancient things and simplified them so that it was the element of dance that showed through. And this camera on this computer is doing well enough with this that I want to show you the first one I did, how I got interested in that collage series was an image like this. The image that is in white, there's a sculpture. I thought, I have seen this at the Dancing Poetry Festival. It is a traditional movement of entry when people are doing classic belly dance.
oh,
Only
wow.
it is 2,500 years old. So how long have people been doing things that we can see in modern settings?
And these are used as illustrations in your new book.